Hey everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. We are back in the kitchen, in my kitchen. So I'm pretty excited to be back home because if you've missed it, we were gone for a couple of weeks on the road, cooking in somebody else's kitchen and just hanging out in restaurants. So I'm actually a little worried that I've forgotten how to cook, but also but also glad to be back in the kitchen tonight. Tonight, I am obviously here with Robbie, who did the majority of the driving on this trip. And he's out in the refrigerator because he didn't do this before he pressed the start button. So he's getting stuff for our drink tonight. And we are going to be sticking with some stuff that I tasted on the road, and I'm going to be making up one recipe, and a couple of them are actually coming from a book from the Outer Banks. So the first thing we're going to be making today is some stuffed mushrooms, because somebody asked for that for our stream coming back, and I can't remember who it was, and I didn't take the time to go back and look through the streams to see who it was that asked, because we got caught on the highway for 2.5 hours yesterday. At a standstill. Like, the freeway was closed, and we happened to be in that lucky quarter of a mile of cars and trucks that just got to sit there for 2.5 hours. So we hope that the person that was in that accident, that was an 18-wheeler, is okay. But we didn't get home until almost 11 o'clock last night. And guess who's here today? Rocky, the Velociraptor, and Otis. They're both here today. And cross your fingers with me that that Rocky is quiet, but right now he's starting to act like a Velociraptor already. So we'll see. The other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing like a Bourbon Pecan chicken breast, as well as sweet potato biscuits to go with it. And then we're going to be making a drink. But I thought I'd show you, well, actually, let's get started on some stuff because some things need to be done. Now, the Louisville-inspired mushrooms, hey, Joy Carp, and hey, Fallen Age, hello. What I'm going to start with today is cooking some bacon, because our Louisville-inspired inspired mushrooms today are going to be like the hot brown. Now, I had that on Thursday, so if you were watching on Thursday, this is kind of what is inspiring these stuffed mushrooms. Never made them before, made up the recipe about a couple of hours ago, so we'll see how this goes and if it tastes good. So what I'm going to do is we're going to cook the bacon, and I'm going to cook some turkey with some spices, and we're going to mix that up with a little cream cheese, and what else am I going to be putting in there? Some herbs, cream cheese, and then what we're going to be making is a Mornay sauce to put on the top of it, along with some tomatoes, and so hopefully it'll taste a little bit like a hot brown. I'm going to put this in the oven. This is my favorite way to cook bacon, and I put it in the oven usually around 4:15. I've tried to make it easy because, you know, Robbie is my part-time dishwasher, and I try to make, you're rolling your eyes over there. What's going on?
We're dropping frames for a bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry that we're dropping frames. So I'm going to take this bacon, and it's a pepper bacon, and I like to cover a baking sheet with foil and then use one of these, you know, things that you cook on. Again, words. I've been out of the kitchen, so I don't remember the names of things. And put it in the oven. That makes it easy to clean up afterwards. So that's what we're going to start with. So I'm going to put this in the oven for 4:15. I'm going to check it in probably about 5-6 minutes, see how it's doing, turn it over once. Easy cooking. It also cooks the bacon evenly. That doesn't always happen in a pan. And I know some people like to do it in the microwave. I don't have much success doing it that way. I usually get hot spots in it. So this is going in the oven. Oh, but not yet, because it's not quite hot enough. So we'll wait a second on that. I'll put that in the oven. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some ground turkey, because in a hot brown, you would usually use slices of turkey, thick sliced turkey on it. So it's actually a really great way to use your leftover turkey at Thanksgiving. But in a stuffed mushroom, that might not work as well. So we're going to use some ground turkey that I'm going to heat up in a pan. and get it cooked all the way. And I'm going to add to that some marjoram and some sage and some thyme and some salt and pepper, obviously, with that too. So how are you guys doing? Are you guys doing good? Joy Carp, I don't know that I have seen you, so hi and welcome in. We're glad to see you here. And, of course, I didn't get any of my spoons or anything out. So hopefully I'm not running around too much in the kitchen. Get that in there. Add some salt and pepper to it as well as it starts to cook. And I'm not really measuring anything, but that was probably half a teaspoon of salt. That's probably a quarter teaspoon of pepper. And we'll taste it and I'll see how much I like anything. That's about a quarter teaspoon of marjoram. I really like thyme, so I'll probably put a little bit more, maybe half a teaspoon of thyme in there. Hey, Elser. Hey there. Good to see you. By the way, Puppy Cam is on and working today. I'm going to put about a quarter teaspoon of sage in here. All right. So if you missed it, if you weren't here right at the beginning, woo, that's hot. Don't leave your spoons in the pan. And I'm doing some turkey in here, and I'm going to be putting some bacon in the oven in a minute so that we can make our stuffed mushrooms. And if anybody can remember who it was that suggested we do this, I think that was the night we were wearing the cows that I asked the question what I should cook. Somebody said do some stuffed mushrooms. So I was looking for some flavors to do something new. So we'll see how it turns out. I'll tell you what it needs and what it is. Is somebody writing this down too? Because really, honestly, I'm kind of making this up on the fly. Because that's what I do sometimes. This is way more turkey than I'm going to need. It's a little over a pound. I probably would only need about a half a pound of turkey for what I'm actually going to do because I don't have that many mushrooms. So, oh, Puppy Cam. Puppy Cam. Stuffed mushrooms are awesome. Especially Robbie loves them. He's the bigger mushroom eater of the two of us. So Rocky is being, we have their costumes now. Rocky tolerated wearing part of his costume today. I'm trying to get him used to it, so on Halloween, he'll keep it on. So that'll be good. I know, look at that puppy. Do you have it on? Because I'm seeing myself. Okay. Oh, did we get a, hey, thanks. Hey, Aladdin's girl, how are you? I heard the sound. Is it working then? You guys can hear it too? Because that would be awesome if the sounds are finally working on there. Okay. We're going to, in a minute, as I let some of this cook, I'm going to show you all the swag from the trip because we pulled it all out and put it on the table and we're like, that's a lot. We got a lot of stuff. Okay, turkey is pretty dry. I want to add a little bit of oil to this just so it doesn't dry out too much. I think that you could probably use turkey sausage with this. The only kind I could find today, though, was Italian, and I didn't really want the Italian flavors in there. I wanted to have more of a roast turkey flavor for the turkey sausage. Oh, now I see the Puppy Cam. Now this is making some noise, too. Okay, they weren't able to hear the sound, so maybe you can you activate the sound louder? Here, I'll walk over there. Okay. You may need to have a mic on over here so people can hear stuff. By the way, if you saw me leave that wooden spoon in the pan, don't do that. So I think for what I am making this for, I really only need about 1/2 pound of turkey. So keep that in mind if you ever try to recreate this. I'm going to keep it in mind if I try to recreate it because I wrote nothing down. That's not true. I wrote a little bit down, but not much. So Rob isn't signed in. Are you signed in? Robbie's trying to sign in. He's trying to make sure. Did you write something? There you go. There he is. Did you turn the other mic on now?
No.
Because we have a mic. I'm so far away from the computer now. And this is making a lot of noise. All right. So that turkey is all completely cooked. I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to go throw the bacon in the oven and check it in probably 5 or 7 minutes. There we go. Here at that time. And
It's very good to be back home.
it's good. Yeah, if you're on the Discord, you can take a look at what kept us from getting home at a reasonable time. So it is good to be back home. Did you ever chicken and cornbread dressing? I haven't done cornbread dressing myself. My family always did a sausage dressing, and that's it. So that's the kind of dressing I always make when I'm making dressing. So, you know, sometimes the best part about vacation, 2 weeks in the car driving, what did we end up at? About 4,650 miles that we drove. So that's a lot of miles, even in 2 weeks. That's a lot of miles. All right, you guys want to see some swag? You want to see what we got? Because now I got to make Robbie work. He's going to have to turn on puppy cam so that you guys can see this. Except differently. Because we got a lot of stuff. So this is going to be basically our slideshow. Did you guys ever have to do that with like your grandparents or your parents, to sit through a slideshow of their vacation? Because growing up, I sat through lots of them, and I have probably 3,000 slides upstairs in my house mostly from my grandparents, some from my parents. And we used to go into the basement, and my grandfather would put up the big, screen, and then we'd all sit around, and the kids would have chocolate milk, and all the adults would have like wine, and we'd sit, and Grandpa would tell us what we were seeing and all of this, because a lot of them are from Germany, and he was from Germany, so yeah, they were boring, LOL. So sometimes they were boring, but this is going to be more interactive, so maybe a little more fun, because you're just going to see what we got. Yes, so I think what we might try to do is put a video up there. Hi, Twilight Wolf. How are you doing? How's it going? There's a lot of you in here, so awesome. Are you ready? You ready? Okay, so we're going to go over and show you some of the stuff that we got on the trip, so that Robbie, because I wanted to do that before Robbie made us our apple pie ginger is what it's called, or the apple ginger. That's basically an apple pie moonshine mule. So here we go. I'm waiting for you. Okay. So our first stop on our trip, if you were with us the whole time, was in Nashville. And in Nashville, we tried lots of moonshine. This is our 153 moonshine that is illegal to take on an airplane. that we did. But Robbie's actually going to make us some cocktails from this apple pie moonshine today. So that's what he's doing. So that was our moonshine tasting, and I was really surprised because Robbie was like, let's get 6. So we got 5 moonshines and 1 whiskey, salty caramel whiskey, which I'm excited to cook with at some point. And because we bought 6, we got this beautiful bag. And then I always get an ornament. So my tree, we'll show you at Christmas, but my tree, every year I try to get at least a couple of ornaments that kind of epitomize the year. So Nashville was one of these. Then we went to the Loveless Cafe where we streamed from. And that was a suggestion of, who suggested that to us? Do you remember? Who suggested Loveless Cafe? Are you there? It was a great suggestion. The food was great. So got biscuits, because if you recall, there were like 8 biscuits piled on a plate, and a dish towel that says, "Don't go baking my heart, I couldn't if I fried." Here's our moonshine cookbook that Robbie's going to need to make the cocktail in a minute. I also have the cookbook from the Loveless Cafe. I may have overbought in Nashville. Oh,
Started strong.
but this, Robbie had to drive back to Loveless Cafe on our way home so that he could get the magnet with the bottle opener, because whoever had suggested Loveless Cafe had one, so Robbie had to have one.
I did.
So we went back. Okay, from there, we stopped in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we went to Lodge. So I got myself more cookware because I have no place to put it, but I need more. And it's a carbon steel thing for the grill, so when we're out there doing veggies, or shrimp or anything, I've got something to put it on. And I can always use an enamel-coated cast iron, another thing. Plus things so I don't burn my hands. Because if you've watched long enough, you've seen me do that a few times. After that, we went to the Outer Banks. And in the Outer Banks, I'm using the cookbook currently. So this cookbook I got there. Let's see. And some ornaments again, because that's what I do. So this one says Outer Banks on it. And then I got this one because... So my story behind this is my grandmother and her best friend used to make lots of things out of shells: flowers, mirrors, ornaments, tchotchkes, and they sold in some really nice stores. And so that kind of reminded me of my grandma, which is why I got that. Then, do you guys remember Stuckey's? Are any of you old enough to remember Stuckey's? There was an actual Stuckey's on the road, and I can't read because I've got this behind me. A narco, that is who said it. Yes, thank you, Fallen Age. So I stopped at Stuckey's, and they had, this is kind of that melt-away peppermint, which is my favorite. And then we got a country ham, because we forgot to pick one up at Loveless Cafe. A pecan log roll, because that is what Stuckey's was known for. And also, Savage Raging Inferno peanuts. So that is now on the wheel of pain. No, agony. And Robbie is very excited about that. I didn't get much in Maine because we cooked there, so I went grocery shopping. So I have one cookbook that is based on the recipes of Marjorie Standish, who did recipes in the newspaper from like 1930 until her death in like 1960, 1970, somewhere in there. So somebody had compiled some of her stuff in here. And I have lobster rolls left because all I had was the cookbook, so I pulled these out. There's no lobster left. Niagara Falls. Magnet. Robbie wanted a magnet. And I got an ornament, so not a whole lot there. And then in Nashville, we went to Louisville. We got these mini bats for going on a tour at the Louisville Slugger Museum. And we got some mint julep cups, so we'll be doing some mint julep making at some point. And we didn't make it to any bourbon places because all of them we couldn't get in for the tours to any of them. Like, all of them were sold out. But we'll be wearing some hats on Derby Day, because we also bought some simple Derby hats. And then lastly, in Memphis, we went to go see Elvis. So this is a cookbook that was written in 1980 by his uncle and one of the cooks that actually cooked at Graceland. And I have to tell you that he ate pretty simply. Like, these are like some super simple things, but we'll cook from that sometime. And of course, you have to get the Elvis Presley t-shirt. So that's what we got. I think I got everything on there. We're not sure. There may still be things. Oh, and we have all the tiki glasses and things.
They're in the dishwasher.
That are in the dishwasher that we got in the Outer Banks as well. So you can see it kind of tapered off on the stuff that we bought. But we did not get anything at Belle Meade. So sometimes I forget. Sometimes we're just doing stuff and you forget. So anyway, so that's what we got. So we'll be cooking with country ham at some point. We'll be cooking with moonshine, I think, forever. Because that's in there, and we've got Raging Inferno peanuts for the wheel. So, I know a couple of you or some of you had resubscribed while we were on the road. If you would like us to spin the wheel or anything because we were on the road, I know Aladdin's Girl and Kelsey did, and that's all that's in front of me. So that's all I can see. What are we doing? Okay. He's moving things on me. So there you go. Bacon is going. Oh, I forgot to set a timer. So I think I was probably talking for at least 5 minutes. Country ham, red-eye gravy, and biscuits. Sounds good. Yeah. We'll be not doing that today, but somewhere down the road, we'll be doing that. And if I don't do it on the air, I'm sure I will be making it and posting photos up in Discord. I'll put these away. I'm going to go look at my bacon. I kind of almost feel like I'm getting a southern accent just from being away. All right, stuffed mushrooms. I'm going to tell you what I like to do, and I need to get a bowl. When I'm doing mushrooms, I like to actually... Oh, are you giving the puppy treats? Is that what you're going to do?
No.
No. Are you going to make you spin the wheel?
No.
Wow. So, hi, thank you, Demi. Is it Demi Demide? Thank you for following. Thank you very much. 5 months, yeah, spin that wheel. Okay. Can I get started on cooking, or do you want me to spin the wheel right now?
I'll go spin it for you.
No, you're not spinning the wheel for me.
You can get
I'm going
cooking,
to start
that's fine.
prepping these, and then I will spin the wheel. So the mushrooms, what I like to do when I'm doing stuffed mushrooms is I'll take off like the ends that are really hard on the stems, but I will actually use these and chop them up and actually put them in my mix that I'm putting in there most of the time. You keep your accent under control. You know, the funny thing is, I was born in St. Louis, but moved to Texas when I was 18 months old. And I didn't really have that strong of an accent, but I definitely had some words because when we moved back to St. Louis, people made fun of some of the words I made. I said. I'm telling you, I'm still tired because I didn't get to sleep in like some people sitting at the bar here did. Who resembles that remark? Is it Robbie? So if you really like mushrooms and want that extra flavor, this is a great way to use the stems so you don't just throw them away. And, oops, that I want to throw away. And we'll chop these up. And like I said, I'm just making this up, so we're going to see how this goes. This is how I come up with my dishes. I also wash my mushrooms. If you've watched before, you know that I've seen enough support for the fact that washing the mushrooms doesn't doesn't get them too watery. They're already watery, and it doesn't add more water to them. So we'll clean these mushrooms out a little bit. So it comes out when you're mad. Yeah. Mad, drinking, tired. All times when those things we try to keep things under control get out of control. You know what? I'm going to tell Robbie that until he makes me a drink, I'm not spinning the wheel for him. It's kind of mean of him to make me spin the wheel, don't you think? Just wait. Just wait. You want to do warheads for a sub? Okay, we can definitely do that for you. Oh, Robbie sometimes does the warheads just because. So, what are you looking for? Oh, here's the book right here. He's looking for the recipe. Here. What color do you want? What color warhead do you want for Aladdin's girl?
Red.
There you go. Ooh, orange pineapple, strawberry grape,
Rocky wants one.
lemon berry. I think I want lemon berry. All right, this is for you, Aladdin's girl. I'm going to attempt to try and keep doing this while I'm making faces. Mmm. 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 So yummy. Oh. Well, I'm glad you made it to the stream. I'm super happy right now. Robbie over here, also making faces, but he's trying to make us a drink. And I want to note, we both did it for you. Oh, okay. It's that first part. And you get past the really first part, they're pretty good. But man, that first part. Does anybody else ever wonder why people make things that make us do this? Ah. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy to be back in my kitchen. I was happy to wake up and have my own coffee in my own coffee mug. What?
You're happy that everyone's here?
I'm happy that everybody is here. I'm not happy with you. Actually, he's been okay today. Mostly. Until right before the stream, and then he was a pain. But but thank you so much for the sub. And anybody else who subbed while we were on the road, since we didn't have all our stuff with us. I do know that in the future I will be bringing my knives with me because that was terrible at the boathouse. I've stayed at a lot of Airbnbs, and a lot of them have decent knives, but not that place. So, oh, you want to come over here and make the drink so I can see you? I'll get my stuff out of the way. No, you don't want them to watch you? Don't you want to see him make a drink? I do.
So how much? I'm just going to do that carefully.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm interested in how you are going to do that. Is it rude I'm talking with candy in my mouth? Rocky apparently did very well at camp, and my youngest picked Rocky and Otis up on Monday and called just to say, Rocky's awesome. Don't let the dogs drink that. But Otis has been a pain in the butt. which is pretty shocking. But there you go. So he did pretty good. I am interested to see if this tastes good when we're done with this. Oh, you know what else I need to do? I'm going to be all over the place again today. You're really used to it. I really need to get the sweet potato cooking because I'm going to be making sweet potato biscuits. And I put this over here, and I need it here. We'll chop those in a minute. But I need to get it in the water and get it cooked so we can make those biscuits. Whoops. And it told me to peel this after I boil it, which is not going to happen. I'd have to wait way too long for it to cool down. So, hey, so what kind of dog is Otis? Otis is a Bichon Frise, a very old Bichon Frise. He is 14. And sometimes he acts like he's 14, and sometimes he acts like he is 1. So, boy, I can smell that moonshine over here. Woo! Are you looking for lime?
That would be helpful. I was throwing up Otis real quick.
Oh, you were? I didn't see him. Oh, well, it may not be here yet. It's a little disconcerting sometimes because you see yourself afterwards. I don't know if this is going to be enough lime or not. I have limes.
So we need half an ounce.
Okay.
I made a mess.
You sure did. You wasted some of the moonshine. So yeah, so Otis is a Bichon Frise, and Rocky is a Maltipoo Velociraptor mix.
And goat.
Part goat. Today we've taken out a Tic Tac box, a random piece of plastic, and a thumbtack out of his mouth. So, most concerning is the thumbtack, right? Because I didn't want to end up at the vet today.
Just got home.
We just got home. I don't even know where he got the Tic Tac box. You weren't up yet, so that was, at least I'd had a cup of coffee when he'd done that. Boy, that was the slowest, worst peeling of a potato ever. Yeah, oh my, for sure. All right, let's get this in the water, get it boiling. And no matter what your mama told you, the best way to do potatoes in water is to put them in cold water and then boil the water and let them cook. So starting from cold, and try to get them in relatively even chunks in there so they cook evenly. So I'm sure you can do a better job than me right now. So we'll get all that in the water. And that's for the biscuits for later. Salt your water. You probably can't see me too much well. Whoops. Oh, we're working on stuffed mushrooms. So what I'm making, one of the places we went was Louisville, Kentucky, and we ate hot browns. Why is that doing that? Hot browns there, which is a classic Louisville dish that started at the Brown Hotel, and it's basically bread with turkey and tomato and bacon and a Mornay sauce on the top. So I'm kind of recreating those flavors inside the mushrooms. So what I've done here is this turkey is going to go in there. I have ground turkey rather than sliced turkey. We've got bacon in the oven. Ooh, that I got to check. So thank you for reminding me. And we're going to do the Mornay sauce on the top with tomatoes. So that's what we're doing. Oh yeah, almost burned the bacon. We're at critical mass here. Oh, no, I don't need that one. But just right for being crispy and breaking down. But you can see how when you do it this way, you just get really evenly cooked bacon. That's why it's my favorite. Thank you for your lovely camera work. All right, now to make the inside of what's going to go in these mushrooms. I'm sorry, I am talking with a warhead in my mouth because that is my thanks to Aladdin's Girl for her subscription. It is very crispy bacon. Not Robbie's favorite.
I like bacon.
Not crispy bacon. You don't like really crispy bacon.
I'm just an enigma.
You are an enigma. But if it makes him feel better to think so. So my turkey is cool, so I'm going to break it up, and I'm not going to use all of this because I only have 12 mushroom caps. But I'm going to have to put it back in a pan. But I want to break up this, and then I'm going to get rid of the other. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll put it in the... Hey, don't get under my feet, buddy. My Tupperware cabinet needs to be cleaned out. So, we'll use that for something else. Not sure what. Maybe is in a sauce as a substitute for ground beef, because it'll be healthier. Move those for a minute, and we will put that in the fridge. As I try to remember how to stream from my kitchen. So I'm going to take this and put this in here, and we'll heat that up in a minute because it's easier to get the cream cheese and everything to mix together if you're doing it over heat. It's really hard to get everything even if you're just mixing it while it's cold. For stuffed mushrooms, at least. So we're going to chop all of this up. The extra mushrooms. I'm not going to add these to the pan yet. Cream cheese is next after that. What's everybody else eating tonight? Hey, you know what I was thinking, now that you guys are thinking about that and hopefully typing something, I'm thinking of adding in the Discord channel just because we were talking about it, and we talked about it several times on the trip in the car when you weren't there, is wrong lyrics to songs, because I like to hear that. It makes me laugh. And as a matter of fact, was it 3 Christmases ago or something? Everybody got a cup that had the wrong lyrics to something on it?
3 or 4. It's been a while. I got the Rock the Cat box.
Rock the Cat box. It's because Robbie likes cats. You know what he said to me? We were passing a house that had lions guarding the driveway. And he said, I want statues guarding my driveway, but not lions. I want big cats. Because lions are cats. They're big cats, actually. So.
Just not that kind of cat.
Noodle. Okay. I love going out to eat with friends, although I'm just glad to be home and cooking. Microwave burrito. Well, you're early, so it's not dinner time for you yet.
How's your beverage?
I haven't tried it yet. It's strong.
It's moonshine.
It's very strong. So tigers, you think instead of lions? What do you think of tigers?
I'll go for tigers.
Okay. Although that's not as big a cat as a lion.
They have stripes though.
Read a Big Mac. Puma, mountain lion, panther. I think really what he wanted was like a big, like, tabby cat guarding the driveway.
It doesn't sound very terrifying.
No, it really doesn't. They may knock something off of your counter.
They do that.
He's giving me a
very
look.
mean.
He's giving me a look. By the way, I don't know if Joyce is on. That is Robbie's mother. But it's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Joyce, if you're watching. I hope the cake was good. We took a chocolate mousse cake over. Not one that I cooked, so because, again, got home at 11 o'clock last night and got up at 6:15 with the dog. But sometime, maybe someday. Alrighty, let's get
Yum.
these in here and get them browned up a little bit. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's do that one instead. I don't need it real hot, but I do want these to cook a little bit in there. So that's mushrooms, ground turkey with some marjoram, sage. Well, that was loud. So.
We both jumped on that one.
Yeah. So thank you. Woo. And then I want to put in, we want to do some breadcrumbs in here, and then some cream cheese. I don't know how much cream cheese. See, and now I have much more room to dance in the kitchen. Woohoo! Dance around. I cleaned up some of your mess, and you made more of a mess.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
It's fine. I'll just use another pot.
It's all good. Enough moonshine, I won't care.
Yeah. I legit scared you. Us too. We're like, whoo. So let's get that cream cheese starting to melt in here. I am trying at least to use a non-skid when I can, but the other ones could be cast iron for the chicken.
Who knew that goats could be scary?
Well, screaming goats, you know. Now, in a classic hot brown, you would put the bacon on the top of the, I want to say it's the meat, the turkey, tomato, bacon, and then the Mornay sauce. But I'm going to do it in a slightly different order. So if you're purist on that kind of stuff, hopefully you don't hate me. You're no fun making them eat their dinner before they have cake.
It's your birthday. You make the rules.
I know. Robbie sometimes has dessert first, before dinner. I thought he learned that from you.
I did.
You did learn it from her?
Oh, yeah. And Grandma.
So are you saying, so your mom became less fun?
It seems that way. I almost had dessert first on the trip at the custard place.
I know. One of the places we went, I don't want to put too much filler in here, but we need something to represent the bread, and then I need bacon. We went to a place in Buffalo. I could have talked. You know, I used to not talk when I walked away because I was afraid you couldn't hear me, but I have a mic now. And that was the place that we had the beef on weck, which I want to make at some point. But not today because it's going to take a little work.
You're forgiven. You made bacon.
I made bacon. And now I'm surrounded by sharks. And we'll stir that into our mix.
If you give them all of the bacon, they won't hurt you.
They're demanding bacon, or they're going to bite my ankle. All right, let's taste this. Does this taste good? I mean, that tastes pretty good. I also need to do some tomato slices. Hopefully my knife is sharp enough, because I do need to take these in and get them sharpened. Ah! Do you like it when I scream? I find I do that. I'm like, ah!
As long as you're quieter than the goat.
That's easy to do. At least I'm not having to do it anymore. Ah! So now we're going to fill these up with our mixture here. I think it probably, I'm looking at the consistency of this, and I probably could have put a little bit more cream cheese in here than what I did. I'm surrounded by So more, I don't even know how much I put in there. Probably a couple of ounces of cream cheese. Why is that one not cooperating? And then we have to make the Mornay sauce before we put them in the oven. So we'll make that real quick after this. And then I can get started on the other food. But I better not drink my whole cocktail, or it's only mushrooms for boiled sweet potatoes and mushrooms. Me too. We'll have to see what they turn out like. I can't wait to taste them. I'm sure Robbie can't either because he loves stuffed mushrooms. And Joyce may be over there, save me one. Yes.
It is her birthday. I guess we could save her one. It's the least we could do.
We brought her a cake.
Or not.
She's got grandkids over. She's good. If they turn out good, I can make them again. Maybe. Because, you know, when you don't actually write a recipe down. I was reading about how people who create recipes professionally create them, and that is not the way I do it. So I may start trying to do it that way, which is they keep a little notebook and they try, you know, different things. I put notes on things, but I don't keep a notebook. And sometimes I try things and then I forget. Like people like, ooh, that was good. What's in it? And I'll be like, I don't remember. All right, so there's that part. I'll get that out of the way for now. And we'll make our Mornay sauce. So Mornay sauce is like a cheese sauce, but it is, I don't know. Let me look at this, because I did write down the Mornay sauce because I wanted to make sure I got it right. So the Mornay sauce I'm going to make is actually from the hotel that created the hot brown. So this is the actual sauce you would put on a hot brown. So what we want is about a tablespoon and a half. And this thing just, okay. So that's about a tablespoon and a half of butter. It's supposed to be salted butter. I don't know why you would want to start with salted butter. I like to add my own salt. And to be honest, I don't know if this butter has salt in it or not. It came all the way from Maine, though. How's that? In my car.
It must have cost a fortune.
This is salted butter. Okay. And we're going to do, we're going to melt this on low heat. I'm going to get a whisk. Maybe. Where's my whisk? Here it is. I found it. It's a little
It's
bit.
seen better days.
It has. Here's my flour that came all the way from Maine.
Oregon.
Maine.
How far did we drive?
Maine. I mean, we drove far enough probably to get to Oregon. And we're going to want 1.5 tablespoons of this. This is half a tablespoon.
Yeah, what was the final count on the miles? Like 4,600?
46.50. I mean, you can buy salted butter, that's fine, but when you're cooking, if you have salted butter, sometimes they may have you have unsalted butter and then you add salt on top of it and then it's too salty. So, yes, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Tisket, a tasket. It's always the main ingredient, exactly. You guys are hilarious. Okay, I need heavy cream, and you know what I haven't done yet is I have not grated the Pecorino Romano. Do you guys know the difference between Parmesan and Pecorino Romano, even though they look very, very similar? It's easy to, looking at them, Parmesan is usually a little bit darker. But Parmesan is made from cows, and Pecorino Romano should be made from sheep's milk. So that's the main difference. Well, that's good. I'm glad you adjust the salt. So I need about 1/4 cup of this. That I need to start stirring the other stuff. So maybe I can convince Robbie to come over here and do this. Or not. He can just sit there and watch me. That works too.
How much do you need?
I think I may already have what I need.
Man, I'm good.
Okay, wait, no, do me a little bit more. All right, melt. And now we're going to incorporate our flour in here so that we make a roux. And we've talked about that on the stream, right? We make a roux because that helps thicken a sauce. And we make it this way because then we can get all the lumps out. And it cooks out the raw taste of the flour. And I believe that it thickens better when it is not cooked as much. But it's an Alton Brown quiz answer, and who knows if I'm right or not. Is anybody, Aladdin's girl, did you only take the test once for Alton Brown, or did you take it multiple times? Because we've taken it multiple times, and I am really good at getting 17. Oh, it's dropping frames too. What's going on?
The internet's been terrible all day.
Is it my internet or the internet in general?
It's not the broadcast, it's your actual internet.
It's my internet?
Already lowered the bit rate to try and help some.
Well, I'm sorry, guys, that's happening. I will check on that, but I have a terrible internet provider.
Because we usually drop 0 frames, and it's really bad. Doing our best.
We are. All right, I'm adding 1.5 cups of heavy cream into my roux. And I keep stirring this. Now, normally I would heat up that cream before I put it in here, just to make sure it helps keep it from getting really lumpy. But I'm cooking it on such a low heat right now, I'm not too worried about it. And then we need some Pecorino Romano cheese.
You said that way better than I would have.
Pecorino Romano.
I'm just good at grading it. Not saying it.
That works out fine.
And eating it.
And
Good at
eating it. You are good at eating it. That's true. So that's weird that the audio is. I've been teleporting in my kitchen. Ooh, I've always wanted that power to teleport. But I'd really like to have more control over it. Honestly, if I had to have a superpower, get down. Teleporting would be the one I would want. I would want to be able to, this is going to make way more sauce than I need. I would love to be able to say, I would like to have dinner in France tonight because I want to try this dish and taste the way they are making it in France or Italy. Or I want to go see my daughter. I'd like to teleport to Seattle. Which means that she would probably not like it if I had that power. Mom, why are you here again?
I'll try something else real quick.
He's going to try something else. Now, what I do want to put in this sauce is I want to put in a little bit of salt and pepper and nutmeg. And I have some fresh nutmeg. Dun, da, da, da. I might scare people, and that would be kind of fun. So we just want a little pinch of nutmeg here. Alton says he carries around nutmeg with him, fresh nutmeg like that. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So do you think on your mushroom you would like 1 slice of tomato or 2 slices of tomato?
2.
Okay. Then we will do that. I'm going to let that cook a little bit. I'm going to take that out though, just so that I can make a bigger mess. Which thing am I looking at? I can see it's dropping frames even over here. Robbie's on it. He's trying. Meanwhile, I'm going to chop some bacon into little strips like you do when you have a hot brown. You have little strips of bacon on it. So it'll be a little bacon forward, but who doesn't like that? 2, 3, 4. Hello, John. Hi. How are you doing? Welcome in.
John.
I am back in my kitchen today after my road trip. And we are making some hot brown inspired mushrooms before I get the chicken and sweet potato biscuits and all that good stuff. And we also have some apple pie moonshine mules that Robbie made us. So,
And there's plenty for everyone.
It's snowing. It's literally 90 degrees here right now. 90 degrees. So that's not fun. Oh, I know what I had in there.
We'll trade you. Can we trade?
You want to trade for snow? I don't know.
It's at least different. We've
It
had
is
plenty of
different.
90 degrees days lately.
Yeah, for sure. Snow, I mean, we just, we were up in the colder weather. It was nice to wake up and it'd be like 55 degrees outside, never getting above 70. And we got out of the car here in Dallas and we were like, oh my gosh, it is so muggy. And it was almost 11 o'clock at night and it was muggy.
Have you done mushroom stuffed with crab meat before?
I have not, but that is something to definitely try. I'm trying to thicken this sauce up a little bit. I may need to turn the heat up a little bit on it. I don't want it to boil. I just want it to thicken. So, I know, icky snow. I mean, I lived in Rochester, New York, and in Michigan, and in Chicago, right off of the lake. So, in St. Louis. So I'm done with snow. I was even in the big blizzard of, let me figure this out, 95, I think. It's either 95 or 96 in Baltimore. That was so bad. I don't want to shovel another driveway. I don't want to spend 30 minutes putting on outer clothes to get outside. I don't want to scrape another windshield from ice. So, none of that.
Keep it out of Minnesota.
Yeah, if you could do that and keep it out of Fallen Ages area, she would really appreciate that. But now I'm here in Texas, and that's too hot, too. So, I keep seeing things popping up on my thing. Do you know what that is? Like things on the side. Popping up? Nope. Okay. Hello, Bravewood Beanery. Welcome. I keep saying I was in Oregon, but I wasn't in Oregon. I was in Maine. We were in Portland. But we just got back 2 weeks. 2 weeks on the road. It was so good to sleep in my own bed with my own pillows last night. Take a shower in my own shower. Get up and have my own coffee in my own coffee mug. So, welcome in. Welcome in. What are you up to today? What brings you in? I know, that's why I keep saying, I've been to Portland, Oregon too, and I was like, and we were in Oregon, and then Robbie reminds me that, no, we weren't. We were in Maine, Dana.
We drove the other way.
We were the other direction. So I'm working on some flavors that were inspired from our trip, and so I'm making some stuffed mushrooms that are like a Louisville hot brown. So we'll see how they turn out because I'm really kind of just making it on the fly here. I did not test my my creation before I did this on the air, but that's okay because I'm all about I make mistakes so you don't have to.
That is the best time to try stuff out, is live on the internet.
All right, so you're doing your first Twitch stream tomorrow. What kind of stream do you have? Do you have a cooking stream? I mean, if you're looking for inspiration, that's about the only thing I can offer here, not a gaming stream, but that's exciting. I remember when I did my first one, I basically told Robbie, I'm like, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna do it because if I overthink it, I won't do it.
It would have never happened.
It really literally would have never happened. So we got on the air, and since then, my chat can probably tell you we try to add and improve on stuff all the time. What just happened there? That was weird. Okay, coffee. Oh, you're speaking my language. Speaking my language. I love coffee. Yeah, overthinking. Don't do it. Just get in there and do it because you can always improve and change things, and we've had to do that. And we make lots of mistakes. And I've learned from other streamers that if you don't have technical issues or you don't make mistakes, are you even streaming?
Yeah, you haven't really streamed yet. Until you have an issue you never thought would have happened.
So I don't know if you guys can see. Do you see how this is starting to thicken up, the sauce? I know we didn't put the second, we probably should have had the second camera over here, Robbie.
I'm sorry, what?
We should have had the second camera over here so they could see how it thickened up as I was sitting here stirring it. So, yeah. So, do you have a stream? Obviously, you do. Maybe we can give a shout out. So, what time are you going on tomorrow? Is that what you said? Yeah, tomorrow. What time tomorrow are you going to be doing your stream, and what are you going to be doing on your stream? So we can check it out. So Robbie's going to give you a shout out. So 10 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so that's 11 a.m. here. I will already be at least 2 coffees in by then. All right, my sauce is nice and creamy now. And I kept it on, so all of that stuff I was doing it on really low heat just to thicken it up. But I didn't want it to boil. So be really careful if you're making like a Mornay sauce that you're not, that you don't bring it to a boil because it already has cheese and stuff in it, and no, it won't be good. Those are the words I like to use. I mean, if you really want to see Bravewood and you want to see what it's like for somebody to mess up on stream a lot, keep coming back. I'll make you feel good. All right, I'm going to put these. Can you bring a thing so we can see what I'm doing over here? This is Robbie, by the way, who's behind the camera. I can't do this without him. He has done the majority of the tech stuff when it comes to the streams. And he is my dishwasher afterwards, which is a really important job. So if you ever do a cooking stream, make sure you find yourself a dishwasher. You got to set up, you got to plan, you got to set it up, and then you got to clean the kitchen afterwards. I mean, I clean, but I'm going to check these too. Oh, these are good. All right.
Hi, Otis.
I told him to bring that over here, and now I'm going to pull these over here and just drain them real quick and let them cool off before I mash them. And my stream can tell you a lot of times I'll go, oh, I forgot to put this in this, or I forgot to do this. So what we're going to do with this sauce is I'm just going to pour a little over these. Ooh. So Mornay sauce with Pecorino Romano. So... Yeah, well, you're ahead of me because my dishwashers that I made are only now in their 20s. Actually, Kelsey's been really good since she was younger. The other one, though, is getting there. Am I putting that right in front so you can't see what I'm doing? Well, yell at me when I'm doing that. Because it takes a minute for it to show up here. Is it only now catching up, like showing me putting the tomatoes on? What's going on?
Well, your feed might be really delayed with all the dropped frames.
Would it help if I didn't have mine up? That we're not having 2 video signals going back and forth?
I kind of did.
All right, so we put... Normally on a hot and brown, you want to cover the whole thing with a Mornay sauce, but I didn't really want to do that here. But see how pretty that is if we do that? Like if you're making them for guests, you can put little tomatoes, maybe even sprinkle a few. Rocky, what are you doing, buddy? Get down. No. That's my Velociraptor. So I don't always have Pecorino Romano. I always have Parmesan in there. But for this Mornay sauce, it's specifically called for Pecorino Romano. So now I have it in my fridge, and I love it. You can also do, if you wanted to, instead of another tomato, you could, crisscross some bacon on here. and have little bacon slices. So there's all different ways you could do this. And we're going to stick these in the oven. And I've got the oven set at 350. But look at that, how fun. Or, you know, if you want some height, you could do this. Again, I'm making this up on the fly, so I don't know.
You're so fancy.
Fancy, so. Well, thank you for the follow, Bravewood. I know Robbie's over there. He's going to make sure we follow you, too. That way I get the notification that you're on. 350. And I'm going to set a timer. I think like 15 minutes, maybe. Making stuff up. Don't you love it when there are dishes on both sides of the sink for you, Robbie? Like it's symmetrical?
Sure.
Here, I'm going to give this to Robbie to give to the dogs because I don't like the dogs.
Wait, what? The dogs?
Okay, that one was for you. Here's the one for the dogs. And here's another one for you. Okay. Now I've gotten rid of all my bacon. So you may have the extra bacon if you come over.
We'll even share more than the bacon if you come over.
Yes. I feed people. I like to feed people. Now I was using the back of my knife there, so don't get all upset. I wasn't ruining my knife like I've done in the past. I do a lot of, being a mom, I do a lot of do as I say, not as I just did. Whoop, what are you doing, buddy? Don't get right under my feet. All right, let me clean up a little bit because we are going to make biscuits next, which means I don't need this right now. But I am going to need a clean workspace. You guys remember what the trick to making flaky biscuits is?
No, actually.
Your bacon is gone. Aw. Yeah, the dogs and Robbie ate it. I'm sorry, Aladdin's girl.
She's lying. She's lying. That's right here. All right, I'll give it to the dogs now.
Aw. So the trick when you're making biscuits is to make sure that your butter is cold. It is cold. Don't put it out on the counter. Don't get it soft. I know it's harder to work with when you're making biscuits, but you want the butter to be cold. It is the same thing when you're making a pie crust. You want to make sure whether you're using butter or Crisco or whatever you're using, that it's cold. So I know it feels kind of weird to put Crisco in the refrigerator or the freezer, but put it in there for a little bit because you want it cold. It's even better, and I didn't do this today, but it's even better if the bowl that you're mixing stuff in is cold itself. So the colder everything is that you're working with when you're making the dough for biscuits or anything you want flaky, the better it is. There's a reason for that, and it's that water then can evaporate and it creates all those fun layers. So, fingertips. Fingertips?
I was holding the bacon.
Oh, yes. Those were his fingertips, and he has now eaten it. So.
Spreading it out.
Okay, maybe he hasn't eaten all of it. Now, I am going to use a recipe book for this because, and Robbie's got all his drink-making stuff over here. And he's going to go, you told me to make it here.
The dogs love me right now.
Do they? Oh, did you put it in their bowls? Did you put dinner in there too?
One thing at a time. They want their bacon before dinner.
I'm still waiting for these to cool off a little bit. I want to mash them. So I'm going to stick them in here and mash them a little bit. So I've cooked my sweet potatoes. And I'm going to find my masher. Woo-hoo-hoo. And we're going to mash them to get the butter. Oh, yes, you can use your fingertips to do that as well. Or you can also use a fork. I usually use a fork. And right now I'm just mashing the sweet potatoes. We're going to need 1.5 cups of the sweet potatoes. And I'm making a mess because I'm doing this in a little bitty tiny bowl, flat bowl, pasta bowl. And Otis is still thinking there's bacon in his bowl. He's still eating. That's good. My youngest was watching the dogs for the last few days of our trip and was like, was this Otis's food and this one was Rocky's food? Because they ate it really easily, even though you told me that it's really hard. They don't eat their own food. And it's like, well, that's because you gave them each other's food. And so that is yummy. Can the two foods really taste that different, do you think? I mean, I'm guessing so if they're thinking that. All right, let's get 1.5 cups of sweet potatoes. And the recipe for this says about, so we're going to get pretty close to it. I don't cube the butter before I chill it usually, but it's actually a really good idea. Like that's a great thing to do. Yeah, there's some tricks, Twilight Wolf, that when I was growing up and learning how to cook, I was like, why does that matter? But as I've gotten older, I now know why these things matter. So these sweet potatoes are still pretty hot. I mean, they're not hot, they're warm. So what I'm probably going to do is get what I need, and whatever I don't need will be part of my lunch tomorrow, or breakfast. Although if I'm doing sweet potatoes for breakfast, I usually like to cube them and make a hash. This is about right. So this was, for 1.5 cups, this was a little over 1 pound of a sweet potato. And it's pretty close. So if you're needing 1.5 pounds, maybe go a little under 1 pound on your sweet potato. I just thought with our chicken being like a Bourbon Pecan Chicken, I thought I didn't want to do sweet potatoes because that sounded too sweet, but I thought a sweet potato biscuit sounded really, really good. You could make sweet potato pancakes. That would be good. Also, this recipe, it's funny because a lot of these recipes are using pre-packaged things. You could do this with Biscuits, and I used to cook with that all the time when the kids were younger, but I make my own biscuits from scratch now. But if you are a little worried about that, you could substitute instead of the flour, baking powder, and salt, and you could use Biscuits from what I'm doing here. And instead of the melted butter, you can use milk and water as a substitute for those, and make the sweet potato pancakes. So you would be using 1.5 cups of sweet potatoes, 1 cup of light brown sugar, 2 cups of Biscuits, and probably 1/4 cup milk, and I would say probably 1/4 cup of water. You might have to play with that a little bit. And I can look it up, and I'll try to be better about posting things on social media, but it's so tough when you get back from vacation about the 10 million things you have to do. Like every one of my clients wants to see me this week. And the car needs to go in for service. And some other stuff, but I can't remember.
And then boring things like laundry.
Laundry.
Dog grooming.
Dogs. taking care of them. Fingernails. I'm surprised. I cannot believe these lasted me through the trip. Normally I don't put things away while we're sitting here on the air, but I'm trying to be better. That's going to be good. Ooh, maybe I could even make some potato pancakes in the morning and put some eggs over them. Because my body right now, after being on the road, my body is like, can you feed me some vegetables? Can you feed me some healthy food? Maybe it won't be as yummy, but healthy. But yeah, you could actually use that for sweet potato pancakes. That'd be perfect. All right, so I'm gonna spread this out. I'm gonna stick it in the refrigerator for a minute, and I'm gonna get all the other ingredients together, and I'm gonna make a mess with my apron.
That's what it's for.
That is what it is for. And I'm gonna have to take the chicken out, otherwise there's not room. How is there not room in my fridge when we've been gone for 2 weeks?
We forgot to clean it out?
Nope, I cleaned it out before we went, and I even took some stuff and cleaned some extra stuff out today.
Then I don't have an answer for you, sorry.
All right. So let's get the other ingredients together while we're waiting. And I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you because I'm a little out of practice. So
We were definitely bad about that on the
I tried, I was like, we can get this, but I'm also getting a salad towards the end. Because, yeah.
Not a lot of green food on that trip.
I mean, it was good to be in the Outer Banks in Maine, where at least you're eating more seafood and it's a little healthier, but...
So fresh.
And so fresh. So to make my little pancake mix, I'm going to do, this is 2/3 of a cup. That's not what I want. Am I in the way?
I was just going to move this out of your way.
This is my bag from Maine, so this is the flour that came all the way from Maine. So we're going to do 2 cups of flour, and this is a 1/2 cup, so I need 4 of these. And you know sometimes I need you to count because I start talking, and then I'm like, how many do I have? 2, 3, 8. But even though you don't maybe forget to eat veggies, it looks like you eat a lot of healthy stuff too. Things that I wouldn't normally eat, like tofu. Veggie straws are good. Yes, I love those. And potatoes are a vegetable, right? All right. What do I need the melted butter for in this? Did you know these biscuits actually call for melted butter? Isn't that interesting?
Melted butter?
Mm-hmm. This is not my recipe. Should we try it with the melted butter? I put some salt in there, and I need some baking powder. So, oh, you cheered to 250 bits.
I wanted to give the dogs bacon.
Oh.
More bacon.
As if he couldn't do that because he's standing right here. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's cracking me up. This has a lot of baking powder. It has 2 tablespoons. That is a lot of baking powder, but we're going to give it a try. I haven't made this. This is coming out of a recipe book. So, sour cream and onion flavor veggie straws. Probably, I mean, they've been around for a while, and I know I've gotten them a lot. I mean, it's funny, I bought a big box of baked chips and Cheetos and stuff, and we ate 1 bag on the road. Just 1. And I don't need them here. So I gave those to my youngest to take back to their apartment, which they were actually super excited about. Oh, Puppy Cam. Puppy Cam, I know they're so cute, aren't they? Oh my goodness. Otis was up on his hind legs. You don't see that very often. All right, this says melted butter, so we're gonna try it with melted butter. I'm not sure how that'll turn out. But generally speaking, the trick is cold butter. But apparently not in this recipe. I purposely kept butter in there for this, thinking I would need, I'm making biscuits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ish. How can you not have little things on the butter thing? Let's see. Oh, that's the mushrooms.
I'm glad you remembered.
All right. Really? This is gross in my microwave.
I'll get it.
Okay, but check it. I need to see how they are. Good. You're a huge help there. Thank you. I think they can go a little bit longer. So let's put 7 minutes on. 7.
7-minute act. It's okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All right, we have some melted butter. And I also need a cup of light brown sugar. And after this, we get to start the chicken. Woohoo! And I'm running out of these. How much did I say? I need a cup of light brown sugar. Okay, so what is the longest trip you guys have taken away from home? Not including like I went away to college or something like that. My longest was, I think, a month and a half. It was at least a month, but I was 15, and I went to Spain on a kind of student exchange thing, but it wasn't for the whole year. It was just for like a month. And this girl learned that traditions are very different there. And the family I was staying with, the kid that was my age was male. And I was really sick before we went. I had mono, and my doctor didn't want to let me go, but said that as long as I promised to sleep if I'm tired or not feeling well and not go on activities, I could still go. And he literally would not go to school if I stayed home. So the cake is good. That's good. So, but it's been a while since. I am glad that the cake is so good. Dun, dun, dun. That is 3/4 of a cup. Okay, that's 1/4 of a cup. There we go. So I have a feeling these biscuits are still going to be sweet, even though they're not the sweet potatoes. Anyway, that was the longest I was away. And we didn't have cell phones back then. I know I look like it was just a few years ago, but 15 was a very, very long time ago. Did you? No.
I think that counts, Twilight.
So, yes, absolutely. How was that, to be gone from home for 2 weeks? That's what we just did. I don't think he's hungry. I think he's just being a pain. He's like, more bacon. Give me more bacon. Yes, there is more bacon over there. But I think the dogs have you given them like a whole slice of bacon and split it between the two of them?
Yeah. The rest is mine.
You heard it here. All right, let's see how these sweet potatoes, let's see if they've cooled down enough. Okay, they are not warm anymore. So I want to, of course I moved it over here, and now I can't see it.
The bit rate seems to be much better, by the way.
Just turning off.
No,
Did you turn?
I think just it's cooperating.
Okay, that's cool. So we yelled at it enough, and it.
Yes.
Thank you guys for yelling at my internet because it seems to be working better now. So where did you? So Georgia was a very different than place to be than being at home, huh? Oh, that's not what I want. Okay, I want to.
I'm trying to think of how many we saw on the trip. We saw the deer, squirrels. There were bats nearby, but we didn't see them.
We weren't even allowed to go in a cave because they said they are trying to preserve the habitat for the bats in there.
We had turkeys literally crossed right in front of us on the path.
Did you post that on Discord?
I believe you recorded it.
Oh, I recorded it. So I'm going to guess his answer is no, he did not post. I'll try to post the video on Discord for you guys, but it was a whole
flock.
I was like, what is it? Is it a gaggle of turkeys, a flock of turkeys? Can somebody look that up?
There were like 8 to 10 of them.
Oh, you couldn't. You were on. Oh, so this was recent. You were gone for
That's
2
very
weeks.
recent,
That sucks. So I've been to Georgia, but I haven't done anything fun in Georgia either. So I want to go because the Coca-Cola Museum is there. Not that I really drink that much soda anymore, although you wouldn't know it from this trip. I probably drank more soda on this trip than I had in the previous 6 months. So, a rafter of turkeys? A rafter of turkeys. I don't think I've ever heard that. You guys know what ravens are, right?
Yes.
A murder of ravens. Who thought of that? Who thought that was a good idea?
Probably.
All right. The brown sugar is a little chunky, so I want to make sure I'm getting all the big chunks out.
So Google says a rafter, gobble, gang, or posse.
I like a posse. Who likes posse?
Or a flock.
You hadn't heard that it's a murder of ravens? Yeah. Such a great things. What other ones? What other ones are weird? I imagine there are bats pretty much everywhere. Down in Austin, there's
Whole
even a
bunch
big
down there.
bridge. So you can stay at night and you can watch them fly out from underneath the bridge. Okay, that is mixed. And now I'm going to put this in, and we're going to mix this. This is the flour, the baking soda, and the salt. Mix that into the brown sugar and the sweet potatoes. Make sure that gets nice. And one of the biggest, so there are some things that you're supposed to kind of overwork. The more you work it, the more elastic it gets and that kind of stuff. A parliament, it's a murder of crows, not ravens. Thank you, that's correct. A parliament of owls, I like that. That's cool. Twilight, well, if you're on Maui, so you're also in Hawaii. So if I ask the question, I need to ask, what have you had for lunch? Or what are you having for lunch?
Unless you're a very early riser.
Okay, I'm going to turn that off. I think these are done, Robbie. You'll have to try one. Since I'm over here cooking, would you do me a favor and get these on like a plate for presentation purposes? He's rolling. He's glaring at me. He's like,
You mean this face?
no, that's your rolling eyes face, but you can put that up there if you want to. So 2 of you are there. I'm going to have to make sure I say, what are you having for whatever meal is the next meal for you? Because Elser is having breakfast.
What?
Well, right? Aren't you having breakfast, Elser? Yeah. A piece of Spam with rice. You know, if I ate Spam, and I'm not saying I don't like Spam because I think it is good, but I think that my blood pressure would be through the roof. All right, so what I was saying is that for things like biscuits and pies and stuff like that, also don't overwork your dough. So now I've got this mixed. We are going to add the butter, and then I've got to get the milk out too. Let me stir the butter up. And then I needed some milk. Oops, there's a little left in here. Spam Light. So Spam Light has does that have less sodium in it than regular Spam? And milk. And I do really try, if one of my supermarkets has great local, more local things, get the milk, eggs, things like that locally. Okay, so low sodium. I did not know there was a Spam Light. Did you know there was a Spam Light? And I'm adding a 1/4 cup of milk into mine. And we'll see how this turns out. Now this is kind of wet, and it wants me to roll this out, which is you're supposed to do, right? With biscuits. So this is going to be a little sticky. I have to tell you, before we redid the kitchen, or before I had the kitchen redone, it's probably a little more accurate. Ooh, are they good? Did you try one? What do you guys think? Oh, you gotta take a picture first before I eat. Oh, you did? Oh, he's so good. Oh, wait, that's hot.
It's very hot.
All right. Okay, I need a little plate with a fork. Wait, I mean, put it there if you want. It may get flour in it, though. But before I did the kitchen, had the kitchen redone, it was tile on my countertops, which is terrible. And now, because when you got tile, you can't really roll stuff out on your counter. I'm running out of room, Robbie. Awesome. I think he needs to feed me because my hands have stuff all over them. Need a fork.
It's very hot. I can feed you, but it's very hot.
Wait a minute, let's see here. A prickle of porcupines. I love that. It has lower calories too. I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Are you guys following me? Do I sound like I'm a little all over the place?
A porcupine has fewer calories?
Yes, a porcupine has fewer calories. They were talking about Spam. You made a jingle about it? Well, I wish I could hear it. Do you remember it? You can record it and post it on the Discord.
That's good.
All right. The mushrooms are good?
The mushrooms tasted as good as they look.
Excellent. Rocky, Rocky, leave it. Rocky, leave it. Good boy. I think he deserves a treat because he stopped when I said to leave it. It's tough because when they misbehave, you don't want to treat them too much, right? Vienna sausage. Who else? Did anybody else eat Vienna sausage? I used to eat that as a snack when I was a kid. I don't know why. A barrel of monkeys. Awesome. Did you make yourself a second drink?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't even drank mine because I'm too busy talking and cooking.
I added ice
Thank you. All right, we're going to roll this out. This does not have the same consistency of biscuits that I make. But again, let's see how they turn out. And if I don't really quite like it, what is that? A little piece of sweet potato that's... Or it could be bacon, who knows? Maybe there's bacon in these biscuits.
Guessing you want the oven shut.
Oh, was it not shut? And I have a biscuit cutter here somewhere. Here it is. I have a whole set of these, all different sizes. I love them. And we'll get those started. Hello, KT Shane. Welcome back in. Yes, it's so nice to be in Texas back again. We're making some sweet potato biscuits right now. And we just got done making some stuffed mushrooms that I still haven't tried, but Robbie has and says they're really good. These are not as even as I would like them to be. Off to the side. Pat this down. Pat down. But it's okay. I bet they'll be really good anyway, even though they may not be the fluffiest. But I could be wrong. Maybe they'll be super fluffy. Let's hope for the best. I know, they're so great. I was making, we made, I can't remember, was it little crab cakes that I made with these? And
I think so.
Little bitty ones, and they're also good for making your plate pretty when you want it. This is gonna make a lot of biscuits. I may need another pan.
It's going to be like we're back at the Loveless Cafe with more biscuits than we can eat.
We will pile them high. Can you get me another cookie sheet, please? It's also handy to have your dishwasher here who can go and get you stuff. He's my sous chef. It's not hot. It hasn't been in the oven yet. All right, more biscuits. I know. I wish we could have. When we were at the Loveless Cafe, we had like 2. Or maybe Robbie had a second one.
I think I only had the one.
The one. And yeah, we took them back. But there's only so long you can keep stuff when you're traveling like that. So I think we eventually had to get rid of them. And again, breakfast. What are your guys' favorite breakfast foods? Mine just kind of depends on my mood. I know what Robbie's is.
What's mine?
Texas-shaped waffles.
Oh. I was actually just thinking eggs.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why'd I get you a Texas-shaped waffle maker?
I like Texas-shaped waffles. They taste better that way for some crazy reason.
I'm super curious about the texture using the melted butter in them. Too many, yes, so there's that. Wheat Bix. Okay. An Australian thing. Is that like a cereal type thing, Wheat Bix? Bacon, eggs, potatoes, yes. I am a big, like, give me just the bacon, the eggs, and the hash browns. I love that. Maybe give me a biscuit. Whenever they tell me you can have toast or you can have a biscuit, I am a biscuit kind of girl. Cold leftover pizza. You know what? I have to tell you, I once went to this hotel. It was a very trendy hipster hotel in D.C. I was there to do some photography training. And they had in the morning for breakfast, they had a cold pizza Bloody Mary bar. I have this very bad habit of looking at Robbie while I'm talking because I can't see you guys. And so if he's someplace else, he comes and he sits right behind the camera so that I'm looking at you guys instead of above the camera.
I'm sorry, you were telling the story.
Yeah. But anyways, they had that. So you would really like that. Blocks of wheat. Okay.
So that's not when you went to spy school and became a spy?
That wasn't in Washington, D.C. That was in New York. Stiletto Spy School. Which was really awesome. I wish I could remember my spy name, but I don't. It's probably why they haven't called me back. They've probably been calling me, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. I actually have a friend who has never used her first name, always uses her middle name. And she said many, many times people will be calling her, like, I don't know, like at the DMV or in class or whatever, and they're calling her name, and she's looking around for who it is with everybody else. And then she's like, oh, wait, that's me.
Did I give the puppies too much bacon?
That is, if they're going to lie there like that and be calm, that would be awesome. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Do I remember the DC hotel by chance? I could figure it out, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Why, do you want to go there now? It was 10 years ago, so I don't know if they still have that same thing, but I thought, how awesome is that? Night out on the town. That's really good. Mm-hmm. Well, I need to get it out of my way, but...
You look like you needed another one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's so good she can't talk.
That's really good.
They might be the best stuffed mushrooms you've ever made.
Those are really good. I'm going to set that over there. Oh my God. That tastes a lot like the hot brown, a little more mushroom forward. A traditional one doesn't have mushroom on it, but some people make it with mushrooms on it. Rocky, leave it. Rocky. Yo, leave it. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Go see Robbie for a treat.
Oh, he'll understand that. Rocky.
I don't know that they need more treats. I don't think they ate dinner. Clean this up. Hotel Harrington. It was not Hotel Harrington. That's not the one I'm remembering. We were in a Marriott-owned hipster hotel. Did you guys know that Marriott has a hipster hotel? That it is called Moxie. That's where we stayed in Louisville. They have, the rooms just have a curtain that divides the bathroom area. There's a little water closet, but the rest of it's like a curtain. And it was tiny.
But it had a huge television.
A huge television, and one wall was all window.
With a perfect view of the Yum Center.
Yes, the KFC Yum Center. So, So it's kind of like what beer did too, right? The beer companies, my dad worked for Anheuser-Busch, and they started buying some of the craft beers early on, way back when, like 20 years ago. And people would be like, I don't like these big American beers. There was one called White Elephant or something like that. And they'd be telling me things that they liked. And I'm like, yeah, Anheuser-Busch owns that. Sorry to tell you that. All right, we're going to put these in the oven, 350, for about 16 to 18 minutes. And we'll get started on some chicken. Can you set the timer for that? While I drink some of this really yummy drink.
How long did you say?
16. I know I'm going to need this to measure some stuff. Okay. This is telling me, again, I'm going to be using a recipe here. I think I wrote most of it down so that I can get it. I need to chop, I'm going to chop stuff first. Mise en place. Got it? Mise en place. I'm also going to start heating up my cast iron pan since that takes a while. Because that's what I'm going to cook the chicken in. So this is a Bourbon Pecan Chicken. And we're going to do, the first thing is there's going to be a sauce that goes with it. And for that, we're going to need some things that are in my fridge and some things that are not. I'm going to need about a half a cup of Dijon mustard. And we're not going to heat this up yet. We're just going to have it ready to go. Because the recipe very clearly states, do not reheat this sauce up. So they want you to make it and use it right away. And it comes from a restaurant in Ocracoke, which is in the Outer Banks. So. All the big people try to make things that look small. So yeah, this place had not only that, but the lobby, like the bar area. They didn't have a restaurant, but they had like a pickup window. And you would order your tacos from Zombie Tacos. I know, isn't it awesome? Perfect Mule Cup. Hi, Mad Marky. So glad to see you. We also, on our trip, bought perfect mint julep cups. Did you know how expensive those are? The mule cups and the mint julep cups are crazy expensive. There you go. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Vanna. This wasn't quite half a cup. It's close enough. We're going to call it close enough. And then what do I need? I need a 1/4 cup brown sugar, but we're going to use dark brown sugar for this instead of the light brown. So for the biscuits, we use light brown. This one, we're using dark brown. And the dark brown has just more molasses, so it has a stronger molasses flavor to it. What are those? Those are the mint julep cups. That is what you serve a mint julep, because we went to Churchill Downs and got to hear the history of Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby. Got to see the paddock where all the horses get ready for the race, and got to go to, we didn't get to step in the finishing circle, the winner's circle for the Kentucky Derby, because only the Kentucky Derby winners get to be in that circle. But they have another winner's circle for the other races.
And we were good enough to stand at that.
Huh?
We were good enough to stand in that circle.
Yes. All right, we need 2 tablespoons of bourbon. Speaking of Kentucky, plus 2 teaspoons. So, mint julep. Yes, mint julep is a bourbon drink that they serve. It's a traditional Kentucky Derby drink. I have pictures of my grandmother actually having a party and serving mint juleps. And I want to know where those glasses went, because they were not at her house, or I would have taken them. Because my grandmother, she had to move out of her house once upon a time, but a few years before she moved out of her house, every time you would come over, she'd give you something of hers. And it could be china. I once got a hot chocolate pot hand painted that came from Germany and was like from 1900 or earlier. And I said, you know, I don't come over so you can give me stuff. But if I'd known about the mint julep glasses that I found in pictures years later. That's a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Oh, that was supposed to be a teaspoon. Whoops. Teaspoon. I put a little too much in there. It's supposed to be a tablespoon of soy sauce.
that
We're actually going
counts.
to put a little, because both the soy sauce and the Worcestershire sauce are for umami, I'm not going to put in a whole tablespoon of the soy. I'm going to put about a half a tablespoon in instead. Because I do make mistakes. I hate to admit it, but it happens. That is what is going to become our sauce right there, okay? Now, we also need a coating for our chicken, and the coating for our chicken is going to be pecans and breadcrumbs. Let's see here. Oh, you had to put that in there? So your mom did that and then wanted the stuff back. Yeah, some people do that. My grandmother did not. As a matter of fact, when she finally had to actually move out of the house, she was upset that, we couldn't take the dining room table and the dining room chairs and the dining room hutch and this and that and all these other things. And so what happened was it all ended up in my mom's basement. So I had to clean out my parents' house. And Robbie was there. He saw what was in my mom's basement.
It's a lot of stuff.
It was a lot. So I pledge to not do that to my children, is to leave them with attics and garages full of stuff, because I don't have a basement.
I was going to say, you won't have a basement.
I won't have a basement. Okay, breadcrumbs and pecans. So we need to grind up some pecans, because we're going to be coating the chicken in pecans and breadcrumbs. I believe. I'll have to check the recipe, but I believe that's the plan. So let me grind up some pecans. How many do I need? I need about a half a cup. I could have done this before you guys were here, but what fun would that have been? Has anybody else had to clean out, like, parents' or grandparents' places? I also had to do my grandfather years ago. And the stuff we found, oh my gosh, the stuff we found. For example, we were looking for paperwork, and we went through the filing cabinet looking for this certain paperwork, and I said, what's in this folder labeled SMUT?
And there you go.
And opened it up, and it was smut. It was pictures of naked people in my grandfather's filing cabinet. It's exhausting, isn't it, to have to go through all that stuff? And what's funny is my mom thought it was exhausting going through her mom's house and having to take all the stuff, so she left it to me to do. So, yes. Yeah, uh-oh. Oh, and that was nothing. My mom and I were there was a locked suitcase underneath his bed. These are things you just don't want to know about your grandfather. And he had like this bowl full of all the little keys that looked like safe deposit keys and luggage keys and all this stuff. And we couldn't find a key, like, I'm talking like 50 keys in there, but we couldn't find one that worked on it. It was one of those hard Samsonite suitcases, for those of you who remember when they used to make those. And, they would have a gorilla in the commercial, throw it around the cage, and they go, see, look, it's still perfect. And so we got like a hammer and a screwdriver, and we're like wedging this thing open. It was full of porn. So yeah, things you don't really want to know about your grandfather. But now you do. So I pledge to get rid of all of my porn before my children have to go through it.
Well, that's good to know.
All right, I need a half a cup of this. And I don't have a half a cup thing left. I have an eighth of a cup. We'll use this. Let's see if there's enough in here. I don't know. You know what? I think this is about a half cup in here. This is what I'm going with. So the thing about pecans is because they have oil when they grind. When you grind up any kind of nuts, they don't get like they're like sticky because the oils start coming out. But it's great because it makes it easy to stick to things like meat, like fish. And so our fires don't have to go through. Exactly. I 100% agree. And if you find someplace about that, please let me know. Not that I really have too much about that, but like, your journals. Like, do you really want people going through your journals? I have hundreds of journals. Maybe not hundreds, but definitely dozens and dozens of them. So this message will self-destruct.
I just know better than to go
Dun,
through them.
dun, dun, dun,
stay
dun,
away.
dun, 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 dun. All right, so this is about a half a cup of pecans. We're going to add an equal amount of breadcrumbs. Do you like my measuring, Bravewood?
It's very precise.
This is how I measure things a lot of times. Okay, so that's what we're going to put our chicken in. Now I'm going to chop up the rest of the things I need because I keep getting distracted by my own stories. These need to be cleaned off.
I think that's funny that your own story has distracted you.
I know. Poor Robbie. My stories sometimes wander all over the place, but I got that honestly because my mom and my grandmother would do it. But we always come back to where we're supposed to be, or at least we think we do. Whether we actually do or not is another story. So, filled or not. Filled or not. Do you know what that is? Filled or not?
I've lost track of where we are.
Okay.
I also got distracted.
Okay. Oh, I didn't quite get through all those.
You need a sharper knife.
This knife does need to be sharpened. So that's just going to be for the top of our chicken.
It's still way better than what you were working with.
Oh, the journals. Oh, my journals are definitely filled. I journal. Right now I'm journaling every morning, off and on through the years. Probably in the last 20 years, I've journaled every day more often than I haven't journaled every day. I do have some from before that, but from the last 20 years, I really do journal every day. So the journals are definitely filled. And I sometimes just process what I'm feeling in them. And so sometimes when I'm processing, I'm like, I'm effing angry, blah, blah, blah. So, sometimes you just don't want people to know that because we have emotions, but we get over them sometimes. Some people don't, and then they come and see me. All right, what do I need now? Butter and chicken. Okay, because I got to add butter to that at some point. So we'll pull. Do I still have butter out? I can't tell. Now it's a mess in here. We're going to do chicken, so we're going to prep the chicken here. Robbie, I'm running out of room.
Would you like me to start working on dishes?
No. I don't, because then you're not paying attention to me, and it's all about me. It's not. I bought some ghee today. Ghee is clarified butter, if you don't know. That we're going to use for the chicken over here. I'm going to move this aside because we're going to do that last. This is now warm at least. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit. But since cast iron just takes so long to warm up, I usually start that ahead of when I need it. So it's ready to go. And I do love cast iron, and I'm super excited about my new enamel stuff from the Lodge factory store. And I also have a carbon steel thing for the grill, but we weren't going to grill today because the wind is crazy outside today. Is it still crazy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I have 4 chicken breasts here. I have the bone in. Okay. I don't cook with chicken breast very often. I usually cook with chicken thighs, even when things call for chicken breast. I like to keep the bone in. It brings more flavor to it. Robbie does not like the bone. He says, I don't want to have to work for my food, which is why he'll probably never get bouillabaisse again, because the first time he had bouillabaisse, the shrimp still had their heads and the clams were still in their shells. So anyway, so this is bone in, skin on. If you're going to do chicken breast, it's so easy to overcook them and make them dry. So you also want to make sure they're dry. He's like, I don't know. Are they ready? Well, I can't touch them because my hands have chicken on them. Well, I can touch with my knuckle. Why don't you take one out and test it? Did you guys know that when we were in Nashville, we went to the hot chicken? I know some of you know this. We went to Prince's Hot Chicken, which is the original Nashville hot chicken. And Robbie liked it so much that on our way back, we had to actually stop there and get it again for lunch. So we had to time our departure from where we were so that we could be there for lunchtime. It was really good. I don't know why I said that, but I did. So there you go.
Because you're looking for a sponsorship, apparently?
Prince's Chicken. I don't know how much that's going to help. Get down. You know what I feel like? Do you remember like the original, not the original, the first of the new group of people doing the Star Trek movie? The movie we just watched the other day.
Like Zachary Quinto and whatnot?
Yes, with those guys. And they go to see, not Bones, Scotty. And he keeps having to tell that creature, whatever that creature is, get down from there. I feel like that with Rocky, who thinks he's getting a treat because the phone is down there on the ground. So we're going to put ghee in here. And the reason why you want to use ghee when you're doing things that are going to be hot is because, okay, who's making me taste this? I think they're okay. They're a little dense. All right. Back to my story. Ghee is clarified butter, which means it has a higher smoke point. And ergo, it is better when you are cooking things on a higher heat, like chicken. So we're going to put a couple tablespoons of that in there. And nothing is better than butter. It's Southern cooking, so we're not using olive oil. We're using the stuff that's bad for you. Was it Paula Deen that said, no, I know Julia Child said it too, but butter makes everything better. Like in French cooking, you're not going to use olive oil either. In Southern cooking, they'll probably be like, what is olive oil? Yes. Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn this up. So one thing to keep in mind, too, if you don't cook in cast iron very often, is that cast iron retains its heat so much that you usually don't need it quite as hot on your stove as you would normally, especially if you got gas. And I don't want it too hot because I've got pecans and breadcrumbs, and I don't want them to burn. So I want that butter to melt. Robbie is going to eat a biscuit. He thinks they're good enough to eat right now. They are good. They're very tasty, but they are kind of dense. I think I might cut the butter in into it and get the sweet potatoes really, really cold. These are huge chicken breasts. When the kids were little, we have a grocery store here that does a lot of prepared food, and I used to get the pecan crusted chicken all the time. But it was what's the word I'm looking for? They would flatten it and then pan fry it. But I'm blanking on what that's called at the moment, because we've been on for 2 hours. So thanks for sticking with me, since we're just now making dinner 2 hours later.
It's all good. There was bacon
There is bacon. Did you enjoy the bacon?
and moonshine.
I know there's still moonshine, so I'm going to sit here. I'm one of those short streamers. I usually only stream for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. So thanks for hanging in there. I don't know, those people who cook for like 6 hours in their kitchen, hats off to them, because I do that, but I am a mess. When I'm cooking for lots of people, I'm twirling around the kitchen, I'm barking orders at people.
You might have some streams like that around the holidays. But
I might. I don't know. Flash fry?
whoa. The chicken?
Flash fire. I'm confused.
The chicken? I don't know.
Is the rest of this drink that's in here mine? This is dangerously good.
I just make that good of beverages.
It is all about you, isn't it?
It has nothing to do with the quality of the stuff that you got bought.
Well, the apple pie was really the thing you wanted. I got I wanted the coffee moonshine. Coffee moonshine. Yeah, I got the butter pecan. We'll make some with the butter pecan. I also know that I owe you guys something made with pumpkin. So that will come up. I have not set the menu for the rest of the month. See, and this is my concern, because these are so big, and we're getting them brown. Like that one's not as good, but they're not going to be done. Biscuits are out of the oven. I may stick this in the oven to finish cooking, which means I may only make 2 breasts right now. We'll just put these away and do these another time, like tomorrow night. What? Well, pumpkin cheesecake. Oh, Robbie would love that. He loves pumpkin pie and he loves cheesecake.
Are you going to dress up for Halloween?
I am going to dress up for Halloween on the stream. Don't ask me what it is yet, because I don't know.
Because it's a Sunday.
It is
We'll
a
be
Sunday. I'm hoping that Kelsey can be here, but we'll see. She'll be in town like the day before, but she's not sure she can stay because she's got work. Yes, it does give more flavor. Thank you. Can you say, hey, at Drink More Arsenic, which is a terrible name when you're working on a food show, and say, the bones make it taste better. We got buffalo wings. He got boneless.
Buffalo wings in Buffalo.
Buffalo wings in Buffalo at the original Buffalo wing place. I was so embarrassed. I said, please seat me at another table. I don't know this man. They also put us in the back in a dark corner. I'm not sure
They
what
knew
this
I
is.
was going to be trouble.
I know. See what you did? I'm going to make these tomorrow, so I'm just going to stick these in a...
They were like, yeah, the option's on the menu, but no one actually orders
Nobody
boneless.
ever orders the boneless, except for their children. Oh, good. Rocky's going outside. Maybe we won't have to chase anybody around. I'm trying to close this without the chicken juiced fingers. Whew, I'm feeling the moonshine. I don't know about you.
I've only had 2 of them.
You also had lunch. You know what he had for lunch? Anybody want to guess? What did Robbie have for lunch at his mom's house?
I had chicken. Was there more
What
to the
kind
story?
of chicken?
Chicken tenders and poppers? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
I didn't have cake. I hope you guys are saving me a slice.
Because, you know what, she's actually doing much better about not working so much, but she has been doing things for her. I put them over here. She's been doing things, still trying to unpack her apartment. So what she did do today, or yesterday, as we were talking, is she got her DS games unpacked. All right, we're going to stick this in the oven for about 10 minutes and see if these will cook through. Did you see that? I didn't burn my fingers, Robbie. Are you so excited?
It's a very smart purchase right there.
And then I don't have to listen to somebody's mother say,
Soy sauce.
put soy sauce on it. I mean, if it works for you, awesome. How do I make such a mess?
One dish at a time.
Exactly. All right, I don't want to start making this sauce until that is about ready. But did Robbie show you the sweet potato biscuits? They didn't rise as much as a regular biscuit does, so it's just a little bit higher than it was when I put them on there, and they're a little dense. So I do think the cold better would be better. So, yeah, I don't know what soy sauce does to help. But you know what? I'm a therapist. And if something's working for you, who am I to tell you to stop doing it? So, Joyce, if soy sauce works on your burns, perfect. My mom told me when I was little, and I think she told me this, just for me to quit being a pain in the butt, is I had hiccups. And we were trying to get out of town, and my mom said, go eat a peach. Peaches cure the hiccups. And to this day, peaches cure my hiccups. Pretty sure there is zero scientific evidence to support that.
I don't know about curing hiccups, but habaneros definitely give me hiccups.
Mm-hmm. So from Robbie's perspective, he could say peppers give you hiccups. But I've never gotten hiccups from that.
You know, if you
That's
are
good.
in the habit of consuming habanero peppers whole,
I have 3 in the refrigerator. Would you like one?
no thank you.
Yeah, that's too bad. All right.
Speaking of which, though,
What? Oh, have I not? Who reminded him?
me.
I guess while we're waiting for the chicken to cook. Sorry that I'm eating with my mouth full. I don't normally do that. But I haven't perfected the art of eating, cooking, chatting yet. All right. This is for Robbie's subscription, because he clearly is interested in seeing what the guest room looks like tonight.
Oh, I already know.
Serrano. Do you agree? Is that what it says?
I'll let you go with the peanuts if you'd rather do some of the new peanuts.
Oh, you want the peanuts. All right, that's fine. I'll do the peanuts. Just so you know, we have those peanuts, those Savage Raging Inferno peanuts from Virginia. They are on here. We have Fresno chilies, puppy treats, jalapeno, a moonshine shot, Thai chili, salsa dance shishito warheads, which were so graciously donated by Aladdin's Grill. Thank you. And we've already done them today. So if you do subscribe, we spin the wheel, and you can choose. I can spin it, or Robbie can. And surprisingly, Robbie did not choose himself to spin the wheel.
Or the puppies can just
Or the
get
puppies
treats.
can just get a treat. All right,
I
so
still have a little bit of bacon to give them if anyone does that. Also, that is an option.
all right.
So still sealed. This is the first. See how bad these are. Oh,
Ow!
careful.
No, I just really cut the heck out of my hand. All right, I'm not putting soy sauce on it. All right. Throw that away. I'm not trying to avoid this at all. Okay. Hey, Jumbo TV, thank you. We are happy to be back. That is way too
Holy
many.
moly, how many are you going to have? I thought it was going to be like one or two.
I'll have that many. It's for you. You do a lot for me, so I'll be in pain for you. See, look.
Well, I was going to say, you already are.
I really, I am, just from opening that. See what you've done? All right, I am now eating Savage Raging Inferno peanuts from Virginia that I bought at Stuckey's. I may regret this. Oh yeah,
They're that bad?
it's worse than the ghost pepper sauce.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's like your Princess chicken. Why? Has somebody explained to me why cooking streamers eat weird stuff for subs or goals? I mean, are we masochists? What's going on here?
Do you need another beverage? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll make you
And a
another beverage.
Kleenex, because now my oh my gosh.
Very good.
Oh,
I'll make you a beverage.
you'll probably like them because they're like they have flavor. They're hot. You gonna try them? It does definitely clear the sinuses. Oh, look, listen, it's Rocky. Dog. I can also clean up some of this other stuff while I'm waiting for the chicken to cook.
Do you have any more lime juice?
We have limes, so yes. Did you use all the lime juice? Let's get you some lime juice.
Was that your accent coming out again?
Yep.
Yeehaw, partner.
Wee. Yeehaw. Oh my gosh. So, if you need your sinuses cleared, Savage Raging Inferno peanuts works really well for that. And just for that, oh, my other knife is over here. Never mind, I won't dirty another knife. We'll just do that. And then while Robbie sits here and talks to you, I'm gonna go take care of this cut on my finger real quick. Did you set a timer?
No. You put the chicken in there, not me.
Details.
Not that I'm making excuses, but
As my uncle Bo says, whenever you do things like that, he just goes details, details,
schmeetails.
details. speak to the group. I've got my mic on.
Well, you're not kidding. This really.
I'm really going to go put a Band-Aid on this.
Hi guys. Making her another beverage while we wait for the chicken. This line doesn't. There we go.
Ow.
This is the apple pie moonshine mule. Let's see if I can't get more of the lime juice for us. It's been really good, actually. Probably go through the moonshine pretty quick. But I don't know about the 153 that's not flavored. That might take us a while. That's going to be pretty good.
Come on, let's go. Dogs.
There we go.
Have you ever cut yourself at the edge of one of those metal things, or like the edge of metal, like foil or anything?
Yeah, they're the worst. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, that's what I did.
But do you have Band-Aids? I'm going to go take care of dogs.
Okay. I'm going to put some ice in my cup while I wait for the chicken. And I'm going to check on the chicken, too. Sorry, now you're in, like, limbo mode here as we wait for the chicken to come out of the oven. Woo! Okay, let's see here. Let's see what temperature they're at. Come on, turn on for me. Well, that's the wrong oven. That's not going to help. It's a little hard to get back into the swing of things, so. We're still not quite there. So we want our chicken, and with, again, chicken breast, I hate it when it's overcooked, but you want to hit around 165 on the chicken. It's at 135, so we've got a little bit of a way to go. Let's throw that away. And yeah, there's lots of stuff for Robbie to put away. Actually, he doesn't put stuff away. I put stuff away, he cleans the dishes. Proof. Okay, so this moonshine, good question, Mad Marky. Let me look. So the one that we're using, oh my gosh. This was not open when we started. This is 70 proof, so it's not too bad. This, however, this one is like 153 proof. And it's not, you can't take it on a plane. It's illegal to take this on a plane because it is too flammable. So let's drink it. Yeah, crazy. But yes, Moonshine Mule sounds like a livestock that got into the mash. So the technical name for this, it's not really technical, but the real name, so this came from a moonshine cookbook, and the name for the drink is actually the apple ginger. So it's the apple pie, but it's got ginger ale in it, and lime, which when you have vodka, lime, ginger ale, it's a mule, but they call it the apple ginger because maybe they agreed with you. Maybe they thought that mule sounded like you were serving small animals. So, and you're supposed to serve this in a mason jar, but I'll serve it in these instead. Well, the sweet ones aren't very alcoholic, but they are. So we have this one, which is the sour raspberry that we'll use sometime for a drink. This one is only 20% alcohol, so it's only 40 proof. And you could really, this Kool-Aid. It's like Kool-Aid. But Robbie really liked it. We did not try this one, but Robbie loves banana pudding. So we got this one, which is banana pudding cream moonshine. And so you have to convert it. Yeah, so just, you take your proof, you divide it by 2. You have a couple of favorite brands of moonshine. What are your favorite brands of moonshine? But I'm really excited to use the butter pecan. I want to make a pie or a cake or some kind of dessert with the butter pecan moonshine, which is only 17.5% alcohol. So 35% proof. So you just Google it. I mean, literally, you just have to half whatever the proof is, and that's how much percentage of alcohol. So, Tricky McGee, what is your favorite brand of moonshine then? I can't say that I really knew the different brands of moonshine, and we went to Old Smoky because it was down the street and they had tastings, and it looked like fun. And I tried to say to Robbie, we should get some food, and he said, nah. So instead, we took a hike. So we did things totally like on, not yesterday, but the day before, because it was the day before, right, that we went to Mammoth Cave. It was Nashville to Memphis. Yeah. We stopped at Mammoth Cave National Park, and we went hiking, and we're both like, something's wrong here. Because we hadn't had a drink at lunch or tasted moonshine or anything like that. Yep, see, there you go. Tim Smith's Climax Moonshine Aged Whiskey. Ooh, wood vanilla accent flavor. Okay. Sugarland Shine Peach. I bet that does go with tea well. From Climax, West Virginia. Oh, it's made in West Virginia. We did not make it to West Virginia, so Robbie, we still got to take Robbie back there. So did you know, here's the final tally, by the way, from the road trip. Robbie visited 12 new states for him. I visited 0 new states for me. And he also visited a new country. So, but I did do a lot of new things because there were things that I hadn't done before. I know. Do you remember that? I remember that song. Do you remember that song? On top of Old Smoky, all covered with cheese.
Did you want a timer on the oven?
I just tested the chicken.
Okay.
I shot my poor teacher when somebody sneezed. It rolled off the table and onto the floor, and then my poor meatball rolled right out the door. It rolled in the garden and under a bush, and then my poor meatball was totally mush. Is that right? Is that the whole song? Did I get it? I remember it from camp. I don't know. Does anybody know where it originally was from? So, hey, thanks, Bravewood. Thanks for hanging out, and I'm sorry you didn't get to see the chicken finish because sometimes I don't time things very well. So, But looking forward to it. So everybody, if you weren't here when Bravewood Beanery, she has her first stream tomorrow at 10 Pacific time, I think. 11 Pacific time.
I think it was 10.
Okay, check it out. Check her out. Check them out. Her, him. I don't know. I always just make assumptions on here, and it's really bad. So check them out. And 10 Pacific. Check them out. They're going to talk about coffee. So if you like coffee, that is the stream for you. And let's give her support and go, woo, first stream. Because I know what it's like to have your first stream because that was only 40-something to go.
Like,
I know. So good luck with everything. And hopefully we will see you tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. Sure. So, all right. So Mark and Digger's Moonshine. Let's see. Coffee flavors. That was the one I wanted. Old Smoky had a coffee flavor one, but Robbie and I were trying to be fair to each other and each choose our own thing. And I did get a salty caramel whiskey from there, so. I did not know that version. I guess
that's a new
maybe
one to me.
that must not be the safe for camp version right there. So, yeah, my version was safe for elementary school camp or middle school camp. So, yeah, Fireball. Fireball's dangerous. That's the one I've seen most. If I've had friends who've gotten sick, it's been because of Fireball almost every time. All right, I'm going to check the chicken again. Woohoo! What are you doing? You going to go do puppy cam? It's past Rocky's bedtime.
I'm letting him run out steam outside.
Okay. You taking the camera to show everybody him doing that? Okay, my thermometer is not working now.
I'll get the other one.
Come on, turn on. Get yourself a thermometer. Get yourself a reliable thermometer. The one I bought Robbie is much better than the one I bought myself. So Tricky McGee, were you here when we were talking about moonshine, that when we went to go taste it, the person that was doing the tasting says, don't sip it like a fine wine. Make sure you just shoot it back in case you don't like it. Then that way you don't have to taste it, which seems odd when you're doing a moonshine tasting. So. Don't you think it's odd that when you go to a tasting, they tell you drink it this way so you don't taste it? Doesn't instill a lot of confidence in the product. What's it at? No, it's not.
It's still going up. I just put it in there.
It's not at 119. I did it and it was at 130. Maybe I was against a bone.
I put it in the big one.
All right. Well, I don't want to overcook the little one.
I will move.
All right. We're still here waiting for chicken. I followed the directions on both of these things, but I would definitely change them. I don't know how you guys cook, but I try to stay true to the recipe to begin with, but then I start to make lots of changes because I've got this sauce ready to.
The big one's at the small one's at 150.
Well, we don't want 150. We want about 160.
162 now.
Okay, that's good.
So the small one can come out?
Yes. We'll make a plate. We'll let the big one keep cooking. And turn off that annoying buzzer. I guess I could have gone over there and pressed the button, but what fun would that have been?
So are you taking out the small?
Oh, that is gross. It's like that wasn't dry when that got put away or clean. I'm not going to say that my youngest had anything to do with that.
That looks good.
Okay, cool.
So the small chicken.
Yes, can you get that from, wait a minute. I will get it.
Oh, tongs. That's better than a fork.
Yes. Yes, it is. All right, there's our chicken, and now we're going to make the sauce real quick. So it's all that stuff I put in here, right? The mustard, the soy sauce, the Worcestershire, the brown sugar, and the bourbon. And we're going to get that nice and hot and cooked together. And then we'll pour that over our chicken. Sipping shines. Yeah, well, I would think that with all these flavors, they would be more sipping, but maybe not. I just think it's a bad sell to say, so you don't taste it, because that is literally what she told us. We have both in Texas, and I just learned that we can now buy beer and wine at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Still can't buy vodka or any hard alcohol. But until recently, you could only buy it after 12. But all our liquor stores are closed on Sunday, so I always have to think ahead. Am I going to need anything on Sunday? And it just never made sense to me. Because you can buy mixed drinks. So, I mean, what are they afraid? I'm going to get drunk and not go to church
Maybe.
if the store's open? Because if I were an alcoholic, I wouldn't already have a bar full of alcohol. Not that I have a bar full of alcohol. Right? Not that I have a bar full of alcohol.
No, I won't show them that on stream.
You won't show them the non-existing bar full of alcohol on the stream? Cool.
You mean the one that's right over there?
It's similar to the way I grew up. It's just the way you're supposed to be. I agree with you. I agree. Since I'm cooking and it's a food-ish thing, it's just one of those things that doesn't make sense to me. And you can't even buy, you have to go to just a liquor store to buy liquor. You can't even buy it at the grocery store. So Robbie thought it was just really weird that we were in States, and he's like, wait, there's liquor at the grocery store. It's like, yeah. But I remember when I was younger and the blue laws were even they wouldn't sell alcohol. You couldn't even get a drink at a restaurant on voting days. I think that was Missouri. So, whatever. It is what it is. Meanwhile, when I was 15 and I went to Spain, I was at the disco on a school night because it was the 80s and they still had discos over there. And I was drinking gin and it's not tonic, it was Schweppes lemon. And because it was all I knew. I didn't want a cerveza, but somebody taught me how to say ginebra y limón, and I was like, okay, I'll have that. And then you go and you drink a bunch of espresso and try to fall asleep, and then get up in the morning and go to school. But then you come home and eat a big meal and take a nap, and then go back to school. That's funny. So whatever. And I grew up, my grandfather was from Germany, so we actually drank on special occasions. Actually, I have them here. As kids, you used to get a little glass of wine in these. These are from Germany. These were their tasting glasses, I believe. That's what my grandfather told me. So... And then my dad worked for Anheuser-Busch, so there you go. There's a picture of me about 4 or 5 years old holding a can of beer. I'm sure I was holding it for my dad, but that was back in Texas when you could get in your car with your beer and drive around the state.
Don't need a seat belt.
Don't need a seat belt.
Don't need a car seat.
Nope. Just throw them in the back.
How are you still here today?
I know. How am I? Is that more than you wanted to know about Dana? Probably.
Your chicken is taking forever to come up to temperature.
My chicken. This is my chicken. It's your chicken.
guess I'll just eat mine
I
out.
really need to whisk this because it's just not coming together. Where did my...
Left.
Oh, but it's covered in Mornay sauce. I have another whisk, but it's gigantic. I don't even think it'll fit in that pot. I look at other streamers' kitchens, the ones that you can see the kitchen, and they look so much cleaner than mine. Maybe I need to, and I just can't be like, there's some others that you just see exactly where they're cooking. And God love them, but I am all over the place when I'm cooking. That is not the way I cook. Oh, here we go. Come on. So this is our bourbon sauce over our pecan chicken and our sweet potato biscuits that I would make differently. I would definitely use cut up cold butter rather than the melted butter in them to make them a little flakier. They're not bad. The flavor's really good. But what do you think? Don't you think they're a little dense? Mm-hmm. I want that to cook a little bit more. Come on. Pour that over the chicken. It's good to be home. Can I tell you?
It was a really fun trip, but it is good to be home.
Mm-hmm. And if you're in the Discord, you can see the 24 duck. I don't think all the ducks are in the picture, but there were 24 ducks on my house this morning. The lady 2 doors down feeds them. And so we have a thing that we call a Ducktona 500, and they kind of circle around and
they're just waiting.
And they wait. And so sometimes they'll sit on my roof waiting for her to put the food out in the morning, which Rocky is fascinated with. He looks at him like, why are they on the roof? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. All right, there's our sauce. It's starting to thicken up a little bit. We're going to pour a little bit of that on our chicken. Like that. We're going to get a sweet potato roll. Robbie has eaten out of the 12 mushrooms, has eaten 9 of them. You gonna come over and taste the chicken with me? So see, they're a little flat. Use cold butter. Use cold butter. All right. Let's try this. You ready? It's a mess over here. Some people have, oh, we need a pretty picture too. Can you do that, even though I've eaten part of this already? Here, we'll do this. Okay. I'm the director. I have to double check. Oh, now he's the director. You ready to try this?
So ready.
That sauce is pretty good. I was worried this was going to be too sweet, but the sauce actually has a lot of flavor to it.
Oh, this is mine?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I know how much you like.
That is really good. Elser, come on over. It is very good.
If you ever make it your way over to the States and make it to Texas, let me know. You can be part of a studio audience. That is good. And it's not overcooked. Would you like a knife?
Thanks to the other thermometer.
Thanks to Robbie's thermometer versus mine.
Then the other one won't be undercooked.
This is very different than... This is very different than what I was anticipating it to be. So we're not making dessert tonight because we had a drink that's basically dessert because it's like apple pie. It's been almost 3 hours. You guys have hung in there for a long time. Thanks. I think Robbie's going to look for somebody. You want to see if John's around?
I believe John is on.
Okay. So we're going to go see John. If you've been here when we've rated John a few times. He's in Canada. He stopped by a little bit earlier. He was on MasterChef Canada. And he is crazy full of energy. So just hold on. If you've never been in his place before, he has enough energy for you. So if you need to wake up, he's a good person to go to. So I don't know what he's making. He usually makes some sort of Asian flavored foods. and we're gonna go see John. And thank you guys so much. Like I said, I always appreciate that you guys choose to spend time with me in my kitchen. So thank you so much. I don't know what I'm cooking on Thursday. I'll post it. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.